Hello, welcome back to Retropical podcast. This is Shannon, and that's Leonard. Today, oh wait, actually, before we start, again, from a scale to from 1 to 10, how do you feel today, Leonard?
I'm feeling this morning I felt okay. I felt like all right. But then like I decided for some fucking reason I decided to read a manga that was done by the mangaka who did the Silent Voice. Silent Voice.
Oh, I haven't watched the show. I mean the movie. I wanted to watch it, but I haven't gotten around to watch it.
Yeah, I for some fucking reason my brain decided, you know what? I'm gonna be depressed today. Let's read another work by him or her. I don't know, and it's like, oh man.
So, if you were to quantify it, how do you feel?
Maybe 4 or 5.
Oh my God, that's so low. What the heck?
It's so depressing that like reading
Okay.
it. It's for anyone who's curious about what it is that I read. It's the manga is called "To You the Immortal" or "To Your Eternity," depending on which translation you
Oh,
prefer.
so it's another series that the creator of Silent
Hill,
Silent
Silent Hill. Sorry,
Silent
Silent Voice.
Hill.
That yeah,
Yeah, Silent Voice.
Silent, Silent Voice.
Wait, Silent Voice is the girl who's deaf, right?
Yeah, she's deaf and mute. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. 4. Well, I was gonna say today is I actually right now as of this moment I actually feel very exhilarating.
Okay.
I was like I'm rating myself at an 8
Mm-hmm.
because even though I've been super busy yesterday and today with work, like I'm
Yeah.
happy that I finally got work.
Mm-hmm.
And like even though it's stressful, like it was for me, I think it was fun for me to like discuss work with my colleagues, like nerd
Ah.
not well, we weren't nerding around, but there were some problems going around, and then like we were just talking about, oh yeah, we should do this, we should do that, in terms of the work. So I thought I just like, collaborating with people that way,
Ah.
intelligently, kind of, yeah. But yeah, in terms of physical though, I'm dead inside because I slept at 3 a.m. yesterday doing work. God damn. But what was I? Okay. We're gonna start with my topic today, right?
Mm-hmm.
First with
Yep.
just a disclaimer to anyone who's listening, and even to you. I think I've mentioned it already. Because I've been so busy, I actually don't think that I'm that prepared for my topic today as much as I thought I'd be, as much as I thought I'd like.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the time to like really thoroughly research on it or even like find like some interesting meaning or interesting questions to ask you. But yeah, just see how it goes. Hopefully, it's not too like shallow. Okay, so today what I want to talk about is Lilly Singh, particularly Late Night with Lilly Singh. So, as a preliminary information, Lilly Singh is this very famous YouTuber who I think rose to her peak at around 2012 or 2015. I
I
forgot, but
think
I
I
remember.
think like somewhere around that, even earlier. I think she might like
Yeah,
start out in
because
like 2010 or something.
Because I
Yeah.
remember in one of the YouTube Rewind videos, she was the it girl, I remember she was the one that was like the climax of it all,
Uh,
Um, and I think I was kind of a fan of hers. I mean, at the time, like I thought she was super cool, and like I liked how spunky she was, like she wasn't too girly for me, and like she was very not, I mean not tomboyish, but she was just something a girl that like I associated myself with in a way of how she carries herself, like not too girly, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I don't know
not
how to.
not like a little bit tomboyish, right? Like a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, something like that. Like her ways, like the way she talks to people and like the way she carries herself, very extroverted. And she has been doing and is still doing comedy videos on her YouTube channel. Um, and so far her comedies usually like span topics on how she was raised as an Indian, but born in Canada, Toronto. So she
Yeah, yeah.
kind of has like jokes about like her culture, like how Indian parents. I think one of her trope is always Indian parents stuff.
That's like the common one. It's like oh, Indian parents when they see this, or Indian parents when they see
Yeah,
that, or blah blah.
I remember I was into it back when I was like in grade 8. Oh no, grade 9.
Uh-huh.
Like grade 9, grade 10. I remember watching some of the videos and I was like, oh, that's funny. But then now, like whenever I have that in my recommendations, like, I don't even open
Like
it
check them
anymore.
out anymore.
I think it has something to do with like not only I don't think it's actually her. I think it's just more of like I've grown up to do that kind of humor, you know? I think my humor kind of like has changed over the course of time probably. I think it got much darker as well. But
Yeah.
but I mean like I don't see a problem with what she's doing.
Hmm.
But I do see where people are coming against her and what people are going against her uh for some of the controversial stuff that she's done. So I think you also know since we've kind of had like this agreement, like we more or less know what's going on with Lilly Singh.
Yeah.
She recently had herself a gig as a late night show host. So similar to like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and then Conan O'Brien, Ellen. Well, Ellen is daytime, but like yeah,
Yeah,
nighttime.
they're a little bit.
Yeah, Oprah is also daytime, by the way.
But I
So
mean, the format is like kind of
similar.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, similar. But she finally made a gig into television format outlet, you know, not only YouTube. And I think everybody was really proud of her in terms of like what she did as in representing how YouTubers can break through, you know, YouTube and to actually
To like the mainstream
traditional media.
media or yeah, traditional media.
Yeah, which I gotta give it up to her. Like she's amazing for being able to do that, you know?
Mhm.
and and she's I would say she's full of life. The way she talks, she's very joyful and stuff. But I personally don't like some of the things that she says or some of the things that she kind of like pushes to other people, particularly her agendas.
Yes.
So yeah, I
Which
think
is it's just like probably one of the primary topics that we'll be having today. I am assuming.
yeah, definitely agenda pushing. See, to be honest,
Uh,
I mean it's more of like entitlement too. But for me, what I noticed is that over the years, she has been through in a lot of controversy, right?
mm-hmm.
Particularly, it's always something to do with how she kind of plays the race card as to how she's a minority, or how she's a bisexual, or how she's a woman. So put it
Yep.
all together, she's a woman. No, wait, no, she's a
No,
woman. She's a bisexual
bisexual.
woman of color.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is kind of a tagline, I think, and kind of what everybody pokes fun at her for nowadays as like a meme kind of thing, bisexual woman of color. Which I think, I mean, it's not something you shouldn't not be, you should not be proud of. I think it's something you do have to be proud of, but to have it always, to have your content always being based on that and like it's always repetitive over and over again, stressing the same thing over and over again. It's kind of redundant, you know? It's
Yeah.
kind of bland, and it's also kind of I don't know, for me, it's like brainwashing in a way. Especially for like
Oh, okay.
yeah, especially for like little kids or like younger audiences who, you know, have not really kind of like been able to formulate their own opinions,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
their own.
because the thing is that like basically adding to what you just know, because her audience are mostly on the younger side as well, right? If I'm not
Yes,
mistaken. Yeah.
yes. I mean, I was her audience when I was like grade 9 or 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Her audience is. I mean, her humor is kind of like clean humor in the YouTube. As far as I know, in the YouTube video stuff, it's quite clean.
Mm-hmm.
So one example of her pushing her agenda on other people in a way, to me was that made me kind of like be on the be out of the fence and kind of like was a little bit annoyed at her
Mm-hmm.
was when the Forbes list of most richest or like of richest
Oh
YouTubers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
there was
remember.
a controversy about that, right? Like
Yeah, I remember
basically
this.
basically all the names that were listed there were coincidentally all men. And I think PewDiePie was included, I forgot. But even PewDiePie made like a commentary on this, the fact that like she was blasting this situation out of hand, completely out of proportion in her Twitter, saying that like she was uh one of the women or the only woman on that list the previous year, and now that she isn't, it's like it says something. And to me, I'm like, what does it say? It just says that by coincidence this year they were all men who were the richest of that year. Like, I don't think it's such a big deal, but she made it so personal, as if like this was a ruse, as in a woman is supposed to be on there, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah. That's I think that's a
and
lot of what we're going a lot of YouTubers and a lot of like those not even people are not on that list was like complaining about was like
bitter.
yeah, not bitter, but like they were basically saying it's like okay, you're not on the list, but so is a lot of people, and like I think she already started complaining even before she was on the list, right? I think she started complaining when she
Oh,
was
no, I
no.
think when she was on the list, she was like, "I'm proud to be the only woman of it this
Oh,
year," something
okay.
like that. I think,
Okay, okay.
but I guess like she thinks that it was like how much of a downfall it was for her, like as if it was purposely to say that women are not suited to be in this list, which is not the case. I personally think it's not about that. I honestly, I don't. This is a bit political, I guess, but I believe in a way where like women, they already have the abundance of rights that they should be having
Mhm.
uh, in this era.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, okay, you can fight for women's rights and stuff like that. Obviously, that's great and all, but I don't think to say that women are oppressed in this current era is like a statement that you should apply for everyone, because I know there are specific places that are still oppressed. Like, I would think like India or Syria, for example, they are oppressed. They have an oppressed, like oppressing women kind of culture. But in
Mm.
terms of like US or Canada, especially Canada, I would think
Especially
they're more
Canada, yeah,
open.
where it's like I think it's much more female. Like I'd argue would be much more female friendly compared
Exactly.
to
So
yeah.
I don't get why she's so like keen on getting the words out there. Like, I don't get it. Cause okay, this is such a stupid thing, but I remember watching like this short clip from Sonic the Hedgehog. Have you?
Okay.
Did you watch? It was like I'll show you the link later, but it was
Uh,
basically like Knuckles. So basically, there's the pink Sonic girl, right? She
mm,
was like about to kick a football. They were playing football, and she was about to kick it, and she was like,
uh,
"Watch me become one. Watch me prove that women can be good at sports," or something like that. And then
uh,
Knuckles, like the supposedly dumb character of the show, was like, if you were to say that kind of standard, it will mean that there was actually no standard initially, and you're just playing off, acknowledging the fact that there was no equality to begin with. And I was
okay.
like, he has a point. Like,
That's a
the
point. That's
more
a pretty good point.
I mean, like, the more you're saying you're breaking gender stereotypes, is the more you're admitting that there is,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's kind of like a self-defeating claim in a way.
yeah.
So I just thought like the way she said it was so, I don't I mean, like the way she carries herself over the years in terms of how she's a woman, a bisexual woman of color. It was a bit weird, because I feel like it's all about getting brownie points to me. I feel like just so in a way it could just be her way, because she's a woman, because she's bisexual, and because she's a person of
Oh,
color.
like do you mean she's like basically propagating her message simply because like she is all of this and she has a platform and so she's basically saying, "Oh, hey, look at me,
Yeah.
look at like this."
So,
Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, I think it's for me it's more of like, I think she's trying to differentiate herself from the norm,
uh
where but at the same time there is no norm that she should be differentiating from, because there's no norm at all, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
oh, okay.
Like, you're not different. Everyone's already different. So
Everyone's
I
already
don't get
yeah.
why do you have to stand out to be even more different? Like, you're fighting for a different, but it's already different. So what are you fighting for? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I understand. I see your point.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, she wouldn't. To me, I think that was just one part that I didn't agree with her. So like, I didn't really follow her and stuff like that. Not out of
Mm,
hate, just because I don't really vibe with her stuff anymore.
mm.
And then recently, she starred in her own late night show, which we've mentioned, and I'm realizing the more and more agenda pushing uh motion that she's been doing through this late night show that she's doing.
Mm.
So what I wanted, or initially what I wanted to do, was my plan was actually because I've already watched a few commentaries about her, right? I've watched a few like videos reacting to her comedy, reacting to her monologues, talking about how like her perception of like women and by how it's like what is it called? How it's better than every other man in this world or
Oh
any
yeah,
other
yeah,
white
yeah,
man.
yeah. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Like her
I've
opinion
watched.
is more valid because she's a bisexual woman of color,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And because she's different and she's able to put it out there even though everyone else is so different, you know? But yeah, like for me, what was after watching the commentary, my original plan was that I wanted to actually watch her show. Like I wanted to actually see for myself how bad people think it is, you know?
Okay.
I wanted to see is it really as bad as it was. So my plan was I realized she actually has 30 episodes out in total for season 1, which is a lot. So I
Already.
thought I
Yeah.
would, yeah, my plan was originally to watch the first episode, the 15th episode, and then the last episode, just to see whether she had any,
Like
changes between,
changes between her first
yeah, yeah,
monologue. Because
yeah.
the thing is that when I found out that she had a show, because the thing is that okay, compared to you, like in my perspective, yeah,
Mm.
I was like I didn't even know about Lily Singh until much later on, like in YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Because
yeah.
I didn't even know who Lily Singh was until maybe until the Forbes thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, or at the very least, like a few years before, like a 2 or 1 year before that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
because the thing is that Lily Singh was not recommended to me, or at least it like she wasn't part of the demographic where um I would like watch essentially. Because back then, I think most of the thing I watched were like science channels and like weird gaming channels. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and she
Yeah,
didn't really
makes sense.
cover that. You know, like I think I was aware that she's part of like the recommended group, but I have no like I
Uh,
didn't really understand what her content was, and I didn't really understand who she was or why it is that she was like she was really popular up until the Forbes thing, and then like
I
that's when I actually started. Oh hey, like oh I'm gonna like who is this? I want to see who this person is, blah, blah blah. And that's when I started actually watching her videos. I think.
Well, for me, I think I was the opposite of you. I think during that time when you were watching science and whether gaming kind of
Yeah,
videos,
gaming channels. Yep.
I was watching like kind of like what is it called, words comedy. So it's like relatable comedies. And then do you know this channel called Community Channel? She was one of my favorite as well.
No, I'm sorry.
Basically,
I think I have.
it's relatable comedy. I think that was on the rise at the time, and I thought it was
Okay.
funny. But some of them were like like some of them were executed very excellently, and it
Mhm.
was funny. Like Community Channel was good, and I think at the time Lilly Singh was also quite like funny too. But over the course of time, people realized how relatable comedy has kind of killed comedy in the aspect that it becomes so like nuanced that no one else has new ideas or it's very rare to find someone uh who makes comedy not out of relatability, you know?
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I knew Lilly Singh because of that, right? And you knew her during the Forbes situation. So I guess the way we see her is kind of in a different light because
Yeah, yeah.
I saw her from like when she's recorded by herself behind with like pasted wallpapers and like her wearing a hat and then she says, "What's up? It's Superwoman," or something like that. So
Mm,
to me it was like a growth that I saw within her, but it was the agenda that I was still not vibing with
okay.
because yeah, so basically I wanted to do that. I wanted to watch her first episode, 15 episode, 30 episode, but I couldn't because there was no time. But I did manage to watch at least a bit, like 16 minutes. 16. I've watched at least a bit of like 16 minutes of her show, the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
and I shit you not, the first minute it started to play, her race card was brought in. No, not her race card, her woman card.
Okay.
So that was the moment I realized like her opening was all about how she was the first woman to ever star or host a late night show, which I think it's like okay, it's commendable, but
Oh,
I
you're
feel
talking
like
about that monologue. Yeah, yeah, I actually watched that one too. Right.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not even a monologue. Before that, she had like an opening sequence. I think she has it on her YouTube. It's turned into a music video, but that was her opening, like her opening act. Like
Okay.
it was her going into a room of full of meetings full of white men, and then like she was sitting in the middle, and then like they were making fun of like friends or something like that and how it's not relatable, and then she was like mentioning her as a woman, that she wants to just be herself, and then she started like singing and rapping about how she's the first woman on late night show, which I thought was okay. Actually, I think the concept is cool, but to me I feel like the more you say that you're the first woman of a late night show, it's like nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, and it's also like a little bit
You
weird
know
and
what I mean?
suspicious. It's like you keep saying it, but like, why do you keep mentioning it? It feels like as if that's not true.
Oh, I
You
didn't think
understand what
of that.
Yeah, because that's what I was feeling when she. Because like you're talking about the music video. I actually watched that one too, and it was really cringy. I couldn't stand watching the whole thing. It was really
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah,
It was really hard
yeah.
for me, like to personally, to watch that sort of thing. Because like it,
Yeah.
because she keeps pushing this
Exactly.
idea of her being the only female slash bisexual slash uh like man of color, in a late night show. Because like, to be fair, that's true, right?
Right.
In a late night show circle, there's like the most obvious ones are like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and then Conan O'Brien,
Right,
Trevor
right.
Noah. Trevor Noah is probably the only like non.
Black. Is it?
He's
Is he
he's
black? I don't
African.
know.
He's South African, so I don't know
Yeah,
whether he
yeah. I
was
think, I
black or
think,
not.
I think. Yeah.
Like there's a whole segment, like a whole stand-up thing where Trevor Noah makes fun of the fact that like he's trying to be black and everything. But yeah, other than Trevor Noah, that I think it's kind of true that Lilly Singh is the only non-white late night show host, right?
Yes,
Compared to,
and
yeah,
also that she's a woman, right?
she's a woman, and also she's like part of the LGBT community because none of those people are, I think.
True, but I don't like how it's being shoved down our face, like not our face,
Yes,
our
yeah, yeah, yeah,
throat.
yeah. A throat
It's like,
even at
I
that point.
think, I think, yeah.
Yeah, no, because like at that point I felt like, why are you doing this? Like, do you? And my favorite comment I've read when I was watching her, any of her monologue or any of the commentary channels that was like commenting about her, is that
Yeah.
being bisexual, like female or a woman of color, is not a personality trait.
It's not. It's actually
Yeah,
not.
it's not.
But she makes it that way. Actually, my theory is that it's actually more of a marketing move, like a marketing strategy, because like you said, she's the first woman of late night show. She's like of color, minority, for example, and also, she's yeah bisexual. So like they try to squeeze that personality of hers as a marketing move for like other people, kind of like inclusivity, how everyone will be like, oh, she's different, or the LGBT community will be like, oh, one of us, let's watch. So it kind of like, I think it was an attempt to increase her viewership, even
Ah,
even though I kind of personally think that if they had just said it once or like twice every now and then, people would get the idea. Like, I'm pretty sure people who watched Lilly Singh was not there for her, not because she was a woman of color who's bisexual, but it was just because she's Lilly Singh. She's a YouTuber who was famous, and now she's made it to traditional media. I think, like, to me, that was interesting to see someone going to traditional media that way, not because she's a woman, not because she's, a bisexual. It's literally just that, like, just because she's cool. If it was PewDiePie, it wouldn't matter. I personally don't think that it would change anything, but I think in terms of marketing, in terms of like audience ship, I
mhm.
can see why they try to push that. They try to push that, like, yeah, we're unique in a way.
So that's what you think. I personally don't think about it that way because the thing is, she's pushing this not only on her, like the late night show host that she's on, but it's like literally everywhere, like on Twitter or like on YouTube. That's like basically the message that she sends out, pretty much freaking all the time, right?
You're right.
So I personally think it's not. I personally think that she actually wholeheartedly believes that, which again, not like it's not really a bad thing to be for, right? To be pushing for, but it's just that uh, it's not. It doesn't look good if you're trying to push it so freaking hard down our throats that like, yes, we are aware you exist. Right? Because she'll shout to the top of the mountains, are basically saying, "Hey, I'm a bisexual woman of color, and I'm a late night show host. Great, good for you, cool. This is a great opportunity, right? For not
Mm.
just being a bisexual woman of color, being a late night show host, but also just in general, like being a YouTuber, being in a special place that you're in, right?
Right,
Like
right,
to basically present yourself to the world and to your circle, to your this almost like mainstream media elites that you're part of, like that you're not part of, right?
right.
But all she does is literally just make fun of white people and say, "Oh, hey, I'm look at me, I'm Indian, I'm bisexual, blah blah blah, this and that," and it's like, dude, come on.
But what if it's actually both? What if it's like from her side, she actually thinks, okay, yes, I am making a difference in this world by, presenting myself as this,
Mm.
this thing, I'm proud to be it. But what if, because I remember somebody actually mentions like the way she bashes white men, the way she bashes like white people, or the way she kind of like is like kind of her comedy always runs to like obnoxious or like smug, her
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah,
So
that's a point I like to make as well. Because literally, because like I said, every time you see her on screen, like especially in the late night show, all she does is
yeah,
basically make fun of white people.
yeah, like no lie, like when I was watching the 16 minutes of it, it's always
Yeah.
something to do with like not liking white people. Like there was this guy, what was his name? Rain. The first guest was Rain Bryan or something like that, like an
Uh huh.
actor.
Uh huh.
And he came in with a white noise. Rain Wilson. He came in with a white noise.
What do you mean white noise?
R- that thing that like kind of ASMR thing. You switch the machine and it makes noise like
Oh, you mean like that
ambient.
buzzing white noise?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so so that so there's this actor Rainn Wilson. I think he's the one who starred in The
Because
Office
the thing
and
is
he's
that
white.
no, because the thing is that I thought you actually meant white noise, as in like him being white or some shit. I was like, wait.
Oh no no no. So you know The Office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Dwight, I think, was it Dwight
The
Wayne?
one with the glasses, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think he's the one. He was the one who starred in her show. For the first guest, right? She he
Oh,
came
okay.
in. He came in with a white noise machine for her, and then like when she played it, it was like all the white stuff, all the white related content was. So basically for a good solid like I think 3 to 4 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
it was just her and him talking about like this white noise. Every time she press it, there's like different types of noises appearing, and she asked him, what is it? I don't know what it is. And then he tries to explain it like because it's a white thing. Like for example, she was listening to coffee or something, and she was like, what is
Uh-huh.
this? And he's like, it's it's those girls, who are ordering lattes by the pumpkin side, something like that. Like,
Uh,
like insinuation of like white things because it was a white noise. Like for three solid minutes, which I thought was like so boring. It just kept going on and on. Like there was one about like the sound of a tattoo, and she was like, "What is this? It sounds like a tattoo." And then he was like, "Yeah, it's the sound of someone who puts on a tattoo of a Chinese word that they don't even understand." But I'm like,
which is like a very white thing, like stereotypically white person thing to
yeah,
do. Okay.
but it lasted for like a good how many minutes, and I thought it was so boring, and in a way, like I think my media player crashed, and I was like so glad that it was crashing because I was like, God, I cannot take any more of this.
Uh,
And yeah, I mean, going back to how we talk about her type of comedy, I realize it has evolved into like obnoxious, like stuck up kind of comedy because I feel like her I feel like her formula for a joke is point out that she's a woman, drag down all the white men, and
mm-hmm.
then taking it back with how she is better than everyone, how she has a late night show, and so your opinions don't matter because she's the one that has a late night show, and then she also talks about how like she sorry she has a mansion.
Oh, yeah, okay.
like
That's really sticking in there. Okay.
I mean these things are I've never honestly that was my first like I think that was my first time noticing how rare it was for people who have like comedic skills have ever done this kind of comedy before. Like the comedy of like bringing yourself up in a way where it's like obnoxious. It's not even like it's passive aggressive comedy, you know? It's not even comedy, I feel. It's just like
It's just being like passive aggressive in general.
yeah, it's like a literally it's literally just a statement of like, yeah, I'm better than you, so what? So what?
Yeah, it's
You know?
it's like a weird way. It's basically, if I have to describe it, it's kind of like the anti Conan O'Brien. Because
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, because Conan O'Brien, because I do watch a little bit of like, not a little bit, sorry, but quite a bit of late night show hosting,
Yep,
and
yep.
like I'm a little biased definitely because Conan O'Brien is probably my favorite like late night show host.
Mhm.
Because the thing is that with Conan O'Brien, in a lot, if you watch a lot of his sketches or what he calls what do you call it? He calls it something where he basically just does weird things outside of the actual studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you'll notice that a lot of his comedy revolves around making him look bad, like making himself look bad. You know,
Oh,
in
really?
every if not all of the jokes that he makes, he always makes it so that he looks bad, not bad as in like an evil, terrible person. Which, to be fair, he does do that sometimes, but he
Yep.
usually makes fun of himself. Like, oh, look at me. Like for example, Microsoft. Yes, that's what my wife calls. That's what my wife says every night or something like that. You know, it's like Mike. Yeah,
Oh, oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he does these type of jokes,
Like self-deprecating jokes, right?
self-deprecating humor. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Or like sometimes where he
the
makes himself like a creep or something like that. That's why I was. That's why I said when you said like it's a comedy that brings yourself up, it's kind of like the anti Conan O'Brien.
yeah, it's kind of weird because the thing is like I told you just now, like the YouTube channel, community channel.
Mm-hmm.
She Natalie Tran, she was also one of the top back in 2012 because she made
Mm-hmm.
like weekly videos of like kind of skits, you know, like relatable skits, but it was done so wittily that it was funny, you know.
Okay.
Very, it's like subtle humor, but it's funny.
Mm.
And she also does it in a way of like self deprecating jokes, which was like really cool because like for example there used to be a lot of haters who commented on her stuff, like probably like just spammers and like trolls, and then she actually made a segment of uh what is it called, she made a segment, so every end of the video she would say like, oh, it's time for what is it, video slash porno music video time or something like that. So it was
Mm.
basically just her reading out like hating comments or shitty comments against her, and then she tries to like like kind of like defend herself, but in a like self-deprecating way because it comes back to like shit on her again gitu.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Which I thought was like joyful because she even says like my mom doesn't even know what gender I was when I grew up. She thought I was a boy, you
Okay.
know. And I just thought like damn, like that's funny shit, but Lily does it in a way where it's like i don't even I don't even think that's what I'm saying, like it amazes me how people like even her writers, even the people behind her who are doing this are like telling her this is great, what you're doing is everybody loves what you're doing. Like I don't know if she sees the people who have already like rated her so much and like who have already made tons of videos about her or comments about her. Like I want, like, does she take into consideration all of this like criticism? I know some is hate probably, but
Uh,
I heard that I actually heard that she doesn't look at her criticism because for her mental being.
that's what I heard as well. But here's the thing: there's a limit to how much you try to avoid negativity on the internet. Like to be
Exactly.
like yeah, like to be fair, internet can be a really shitty place, right?
Yes.
But at some point, like especially which I think you might mention later on, like because we talked about this the other day regarding like the NBC executives basically coming in, um, like not looking particularly happy with the show.
Yep, yep. Yep.
Yeah.
You can talk about that because I don't think that's in my point. Like that
Oh,
was not
okay.
one of my main
Yeah,
points.
because
Yep.
the thing is that at some point, when a little, when you have basically universal dislike regarding your comment, you have to think that okay, maybe I'm doing something that's either not liked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, something like, oh, look at me, I'm not particularly doing well in terms of ratings, in terms of reviews, because like even if she doesn't believe that what she's doing is bad but like or anything, if
Mm.
she looks at like let's say Rotten Tomatoes or like IMDb or just the general state of like her YouTube channel, for example, right?
Right.
It's like you could probably tell if I were her, I would be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm doing something particularly wrong. That's like, and I'm not doing something that's like that's working essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at because if you look at Rotten Tomatoes or like IMDb, her rating is like really bad when it comes to at least in terms of like just user, like
No,
normal.
that's that's the funny thing though. Like I remember coming across this video on YouTube. It was like
Mm-hmm.
a curb your meme kind of joke, I think. So
Uh-huh.
like it's there was a snippet of her like making fun of the director of Joker for one of his poorly rated movie, and he was like she was saying about like how he's white, and then like he started like 1.7 or 1.2 on Rotten Tomatoes, and she was like, man, that's so bad. And then like it curbs your meme to how her show got the same rating or even worse, I think 1.2
Oh
or something.
my
And I
god,
just thought like, that didn't age well, did it?
that
That
didn't
joke
age
of
well. Oh
I
my
just yeah, and some people think it's also rigged because like Rotten Tomatoes in terms of users it's 1.2, but like the one next to the user it was like high, so
Oh yeah,
people
yeah,
were
yeah.
like,
So it's the yeah. This is the one that I mentioned to you the other day as well when I found out about this. But like critics, like at least the internet critics, quote unquote professional critic,
yeah,
basically loves the show.
why?
I'm not sure whether that's paid reviews or whether they genuinely out of like some kind of political agenda or whatever really do like the show.
Oh,
Because
like
yeah, like it's like basically what do you call it like okay, her show is very different. It's not like the other type of shows that we have so far. Yeah,
what did you say?
but yeah, but going back to just now, it's basically like like it could be like in terms of the critics at least, it could be something along the lines of like, oh, look at the show, it's really different. It's like it's new, it's hip, quote unquote hip.
God,
Maybe we
no, no.
could like yeah. So maybe we could like promote the show so that people would like us more, or blah blah blah, this and that. Which is so weird if you think about it, because traditional media, right,
Yep,
usually shuns down like YouTubers for the majority of the time. I think,
yep.
right? I'm
Or
not
like I
sure.
said,
Yeah.
it's a conspiracy. Somebody mentioned this before. I think Live Love Live or something like that. Who
Mhm.
like they reacted to her and they were like having a conspiracy moment where they were like, what if they purposely let her do that, tell her everything is all right, just to make a point that women can't host correctly, and YouTubers just can't amount to anything else beyond YouTube.
Are
Like
you
they'll just
talking about? Are you talking about the reviews, or are you reviewers, or are you talking about um like the MBC executives?
either or actually,
Oh, either
because like
or.
yeah, because like if you think about it, yeah, if they have an agenda of like they want to push this show to keep going to show people how shit it is, so that
Mhm.
so that there will be no precedent able to appear from this, as in like a lot of YouTubers were concerned because they were afraid that as how shitty the show was, they were afraid that they will never be given any more chances to any other YouTubers to do the same thing because she already set an example of how bad it was.
Oh, so you're basically saying like they did this on purpose so that okay, look at this, look at this.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
this show
It's
is like
so bad.
super bad. Like, why would you let any more YouTuber to
Yeah.
do this? Or
Or
something like
even
that.
any more women to do this, or anyone
Ah,
bisexual to do this, or anyone what was her other title, her other
uh,
tag,
woman of color.
yeah, a person of color to do this. Basically, some people are are theorizing that the reason why the executives or maybe some people are okay with this and keep this going, and how she got a season 2, surprise surprise,
Mm-hmm.
um was that it was to prove a point of like there shall be no more next after her gitu.
Oh.
That was something that I was like kind of like, whoa, this could be a
Oh, like a
theory.
conspiracy theory. Okay, okay, I see.
Yeah, like the executives, like they don't actually want her, like they were disapproving of her, like what you said, right? But they thought we could do something with this, we could
That's a
show how
poor
shit.
idea, to be fair, though. Like, that's a terrible idea, to be fair, though, if you think about it. Because they're losing
Yeah,
money for this.
true, true, true.
They're losing
Very true, actually.
tons and tons of
No,
money just
but
for
but
this.
then again, I think you also know, right, that her studio is actually not in the main lot of is it ABC or NBC?
NBC, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
you're
it's
right,
not the
though.
main
You did
lot.
mention that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's like a
It
lot of people did mention that. The fact that,
Yeah,
like,
it's at the back lot where like it's kind of away from like the main like attraction.
yeah, like
So
the main studio, as in.
yeah,
Okay.
and like to be fair, like when I saw her set, because I told you I watched a few minutes of her episode 1, right? Her
Uh-huh.
set looked so like honestly, it looked like the stage that we used during high school. Like like that was something that came out of a high school auditorium kind of like vibe. Like
Uh,
it didn't look as elegant as it was supposed to be. I don't know. For me personally, I felt like the budget was so like low.
at least compared to other late night show hosts, is it?
Yeah, at least compared to like
Yeah.
at least for example, Jimmy Kimmel, like he had like a band and he had like like it was wide and then he had bands like with levels. I think if I'm not wrong, the bands were like above or something. And then
Hmm.
like even Ellen, she had like a very quite like a long and a wide stage, right?
Yeah, yeah, studio and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Lily just had like one tiny kind of like podium kind of level kind of like
I
area, which I thought
mean,
was
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean, to be fair, like, I'm not sure whether you know this show. It's called the Eric Andre Show.
Oh, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, so the Eric Andre Show is technically quote unquote a late night show as well, except it's like just a lot more like imagine it's on steroids or something.
But yeah, but it's like wacky and like it's meant to be chaotic by
Yeah,
the end
it's
of
meant
the
to be
show,
super
right?
chaotic and low budget. Even that particular studio, I think, felt bigger than hers.
Oh, really? I've never seen the studio actually. Maybe I
The
should
studio
check it
is
out.
pretty small. Like there's one episode where they let a goddamn grizzly bear in, and like even then, like just because of that alone, I thought that it's much bigger than hers, because her stage looks not particularly large. I think.
Right. It looks kind of like mediocre. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can see the Eric Andre thing. I think you're right. I mean, I think the shading also plays a part,
Oh yeah, the
and like
shading.
the and like the table is also quite big, so it makes it look quite of like big. For her, I felt like her table was so tiny. I don't know why. Like it was just disproportionately tiny, and I thought it was like kind of. But yeah, that was one of my theories. I mean, one of the theories that people were talking about. And actually, what I wanted to say was, you know how she bashes white people, and like how she says like, I think she mentioned, I think there was some clips of her saying that, her employees are mostly females, or like she tries to pick the ones that are female, the ones who are of color, the ones who are bisexual and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think while it plays a good part of saying like, okay, this is inclusivity, we take in anyone of, different races, different genders, or different preferences. Okay, but what I don't like is that this is the thing that I hated since the beginning. Not even for her, just in general, the idea of concept of like I should hire you just because you're black. It's the same concept as like I should hire you just because you're white. Like doesn't mean that you're black. You'll get a leeway of getting what you want just because you're black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 I understand. It's like quota. I think there's a term for it. It's called quota hiring or something like that.
Yeah. Like as in no, I think in terms of quota there is some policy in corporate, like in
Mm,
companies they have policies of like, okay, it must be diverse at least. But
yeah.
what I'm saying is when it comes to hiring people, you don't just see them as like, okay, you're a female, I want to hire you more than this male who actually has better credentials than you. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, yeah.
I think that's where I come off as a bit like, what the fuck? Because it's like, it's now more of like face value than your actual value in terms of like your capability and stuff.
Hmm.
And I thought it's just so. it's kind of like you're fighting for the same thing, to be honest. Like you're saying you're fighting against, for example, you're fighting against racism, but you're also making fun of white people. Like, isn't that the same thing? Like, aren't you doing the same shit? Like, and what's stupid is that, no, not stupid, but like what's funny is that I think somebody pointed it out, one of the YouTubers. Um, her writing team or like her production team were mostly white people. They were
Yeah,
white men.
that's why I found out as well. Cause like when this is a long time ago when I found out that she had a show. Like, cause the thing is that I think a lot of people made fun, not made fun, sorry, but they were commenting on the fact that like, oh, look at her, she's what do you call it? She keeps picking fun of white people or blah 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 this and that. But then
Right.
you look at her, like her team, it's just mostly white people. It's like, so
Yeah,
how
there was
can
a
you?
picture, I think, like a compilation of her teams, right? And then like literally there was one room where like it was literally all white, most like 98% white men.
Yeah, so it's like how could you.
That's why to me the conspiracy of like, of the one I told you of how they're purposely doing this,
Ah,
that's why I thought like it could be real, because like I don't get it. Like, why is she saying all these things when she's working with the? I mean, it just boggles my mind. How do you? It's like you're sleeping with your enemy, but you're working for your enemy too, but you hate your enemy. What?
yeah, like it's weird. The basically is what you're saying, right? The antagonistic nature of how she treats white men, even though the writing
Most
staff or the
are
production team were like, yeah, I
exactly
think even the MBC executives are white men, aren't they?
is what? Yeah, exactly.
Majority of them,
So
yeah.
I don't know why she's able to just point all of this out there. And also like, okay, this is one thing that I'm also kind of annoyed by her show.
Mhm.
It's not even about her a woman of color. It's not even about like how she bashes men. It's also the fact that like apart from her obnoxious comedy, do
Mhm.
you like I don't know if you've seen the videos yet, but I've also seen some of the videos. Her jokes are like so sexual. I don't get it.
Really?
Yeah, so I think I watched someone talk about it, 16 Leo, one of this
Oh, yeah,
rising
I've watched that one too.
yeah, rising commentary YouTuber. He's
Yeah,
really good
rising commentary user.
at his shit. But like, dude, like I saw her jokes, like some of the clips that he took. It was like there were jokes mentioning about like masturbation. It was like, and she humps live on air also,
Yeah,
and
that one
then
I've seen clips of that one too.
she talks about hand jobs, and then like I remember one of her jokes was about like googling up Google and seeing what bounces, and it's about booby bounce. And in my head, I'm like, wait, are you allowed to actually do this? I thought there was such a thing in traditional media of censorship. So that's
No,
why I don't know.
the thing is that from what I know at least, sexual
Yeah?
jokes are fine.
Are you
At
serious?
at least the like if you keep it on the down low and you don't like explicitly say sex or anything like that. Because like I think Conan O'Brien made a video about this, like made a sketch about meeting his censor, like his actual censor on the show,
Yeah.
who basically reviews things. So like, he basically asked a bunch of like weird questions like, can I say this on the show? Can I say this on the show? Can I not say this on the show? And so on and so forth. From what I know, a
Yeah.
lot of like sexual words are all right.
Wait, so okay, so what I'm saying is I can actually make innuendos of like, you
Yeah,
know, hand jobs, booby boobs or whatever,
yeah,
but I can't say clearly with all my soul and heart, fuck. Like
yeah.
I can't do that.
I don't think you can. No,
What the heck? I mean, like, why? What?
I'm not
It
sure.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't
So
make
you could
sense.
make quotes like as if like let's say you're trying to make fun of like sexual position or something like and
Mhm.
how weird their names are or something like that, and
Mhm.
you make one up such as the Japanese vacuum cleaner or something like that, right? Now
Right.
you're right. If you say something like that, you're basically insinuating some kind of weird sexual thing, but you're not saying it
Yes.
outright. From what
And
I
that's
know,
fine.
that's fine.
That's so weird because it's like I just think that's even more raunchy than it's supposed to be. And like I was thinking to myself like, was it because she's a woman that's why they passed it off? Oh, but you're saying in general it's just because people are
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
allowed to.
They're allowed to
Still
do that.
though. Still though, like I honestly don't like sexual jokes. I feel for me like it has to be delivered in a certain way where it comes off as like it's not always totally sexual, you know. There's like some like humor to it that's not because of the sexual jokes. I don't know how to explain. I don't have an example right now, but when I can think about it, I'll think about it.
Okay.
Oh, I have one. Who is that? Penguins. Penguin Zero. Uh, like every time he makes a
Critical.
commentary or something, yeah, it's
Uh,
critical. Every time he makes a story, every time he makes an analogy, it's always something to do with butt plugging. I don't know why. He just says it out of the blue. Like he just says, "I don't want to be the next jackass who shits on people
who
and then
shits on
start
people?
putting
Yeah,
my."
I
And
guess.
he just randomly says just starts ramming my ass, and I'm just like, "What the heck are you saying, dude?" But to me, I don't know why it's funny because the way
It's
he says it,
funny.
it's like he doesn't say it in like in a sexual way. He says it in such a matter of factly like, yeah, I'm having my ass, gitu, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. I understand. I get that.
Yeah, so that's why I thought like that kind of humor, I think that's fine. But if it's really just sexual jokes, I can't vibe with it. And the fact that this is next to her obnoxious sort of like style of comedy was not something that was attracting me
Oh, I
whatsoever.
see. Okay.
Yeah, but I guess to me it's like what do you think about um entitlement or like power ego technically, because I feel like what Lily Singh is going through is kind of like that. It's like I mean how she carries herself or how she shows herself off in camera, it's very power based kind of like style, how she has the upper hand, or how she's like better than everyone.
Mm.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
So again, I'm gonna mention basically what I thought about her, like her type of comedy even before she went on the late night show, right? Because again, I'm viewing this from a lens from an outsider because I'm not that big of a fan of Lily Singh to begin with.
Yeah, yeah,
And so when I saw her getting a late night show host, I was like, yeah, cool, I guess, all the better for it, but whatever. Um,
yeah.
when I first saw that, I have to admit, like I just thought that she would have probably flopped, like
For the first season, right?
for the very first season. Like she wouldn't had when I saw the pilot, when I saw the monologue, and I saw all the weird sketches that she did, and like even the interviews. Oh my god, the interviews!
Oh, I didn't get to the interview part because
Like
like,
the interviews are probably the like because the things that one I was interested with was RuPaul.
yeah, yeah, drag,
Yeah,
RuPaul drag,
drag
right?
one. Because I think
Yeah,
she had a interview with him, right?
right.
And it was just so hard to watch. And it's not
Is it
it's and not in a way because like oh it's cringy, she's asking cringy things, but it's like what do you call it? She there's so many better questions to ask this person, and you're basically asking very very surface level thing that you should have researched
Google?
beforehand. Google
Yeah,
or do
uh,
something beforehand. It's like oh man.
and
And hello, yeah.
does she make it all about herself in a way? Like, does she always relate
Sometimes she
back to?
does. Sometimes from clips that I saw from her other interviews, I think she does. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. Okay, like, it's always somehow it always goes back to like the focus is on her, but it's in a good light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because the thing is that the way I see her, the way I see Lily Singh, at least as like a late night show host, is basically the
Yep.
combination of every other late night show host, but their worst parts. If that makes any sense.
I think yeah, I can definitely
Yeah,
see like
because
she's
he
an
has the
amalgamation of everyone.
interviewing, because he has the interviewing skills of like Colbert, where he basically because he has the same problem with releasing in terms of interviews. I think he asks not very well thought out questions, and when he does ask a good question, he always tries to bring it back to himself. You know,
Who is that? Which one is this? Sorry.
Colbert,
Cole Bear. I've never even heard of him.
Colbert.
Oh, Cole Bryan, is it? Oh wait,
No, no, it's pronounced
is
Colbert,
he the
but
one that's?
Stephen Colbert. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
Oh, is he the one with glass?
Yeah, he's the one with glasses. Yes.
Oh yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, so he's actually pretty cool overall. He's a poor late night show host, but um, like overall, he's not a bad late night show host. But one thing I can definitely criticize him on is definitely his like interviewing skills. Probably it's not great because because by the time but because by the end of the interview sessions that he has, you don't know much more about the person that he's interviewing as much as he did before. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like how Lilly Singh does it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's generic questions,
generic
right? It's not
questions.
something
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
catered to the person or even to the topic that you want to bring up person.
Yes, pretty much.
Well, another thing that was generic to me was not really generic, but like not natural. It's the whole like placing her audience in such a strategic way so that it looks like they're diverse, and then like having like the same audiences, like audience members sitting in the same front rows for a few good times, so that they can interact with her, which I thought was like I don't know whether it applies for other late night show hosts or even like in general show hosts. Like, do they
Mhm.
actually strategically do that? But um, if they do, I just think in general it's such a tacky strategic. No, wait, what? No, it's such a tacky strategy.
Like putting your favorite audience members like certain position.
Yeah, yeah, and then reusing them again, and then like at the same time, every time you have like a moment with like an audience, it's always with the same person or like the ones that you know of or the ones that you have come to like been acquaintance with. Like, isn't the whole concept of like bringing up an audience on stage and doing it like what is it in terms of what is it called? Oh my God, improvisation, like
Mhm.
improvising with your audience. uh it's like, isn't that the whole point of interaction? Like, it's not scripted, you know, you go to a show, you don't know whether you'll be chosen or not, but in hers it's as if like you already know who's gonna get chosen most of the time.
Mm.
I just think that, I don't know, it was not the way that they don't make it so organic. It's weird to me because it's like it just doesn't it felt so corporate instead of like just chilling and hanging out with Lily Singh, you know?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Because I think because you watched 16 Year, right?
Yeah.
He mentioned the fact about that as well. How the like she basically is not uh like she's not genuine, even though she's trying her hardest for this. Because I think actually no, sorry. Let me, again, I don't think she worked hard for this personally. That's my sorry. Yeah, like it's not. Again, okay, wait. Oh, I'm getting too worked up with this, but
No, I think I get what you mean. I
yeah,
think
like
like
she personally don't see this as a new exciting venture.
yeah, I
She
think I
sees
get
this
what you
most
mean.
as like she sees this more like a platform, if that makes any sense. It
Either a platform or like this is the line for her, you know. This is like there's no other ambitions. There's no other ambition after this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She has
and
reached a plateau.
she's reached a plateau basically. Like there's no way I could get any better than this, or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
And the things that when she does this show, okay, so regarding the platform thing, right? The reason why I think she considers late night show host at like more of a platform than it is an exciting new venture, like an exciting new project,
Mm.
is because, like I said, how she deals with things in the show. She acts as
Mm.
if criticisms or or any of the jokes that she's trying to make is basically like another YouTube channel or another Instagram account.
Oh, I get.
That's how I see
She's
it.
not trying to be innovative with like
Yeah,
how
she's not,
she.
because like I said, she is in a very very like considerate spot, in her life. In fact, in
Yep,
anyone's life for that matter, for any YouTuber's
yep,
life, right?
yep.
She is now a late night show host. She has the opportunity to essentially say to the whole world, this is what a YouTuber can do.
Right. Yeah, that's why I said a lot of YouTubers looked up to her in that sense where like they admire her because that means there is a possibility of being like her in the future, you know? It's not closed anymore, gitu.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this is an opportunity where you can basically say to the whole world, "Hey, look at me. I am relevant. Right?
Mm.
I am relevant in both the enclosed YouTube space and also in the mainstream space." Is what I thought that she might have the possibility to do essentially, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like basically, look at me. I'm cool. I'm hip. I can basically say to the whole world that I can basically have a larger and wider audience, and also make late night show hosts, which, to be fair, late night show hosts hasn't been doing particularly well, I think, in terms of ratings, because they're all the same things nowadays, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah. So she had this opportunity to basically say, "Hey, your late night show host sucks, all of you, right?
I can do
You're
better,
I can do
right?
much better while not I'm trying to point this out, while being a bisexual woman of color,
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
right? Like the bisexual woman of color thing does not need to be a main selling point. It could be just, hey, I have this cool idea since I'm a YouTuber and everything, and like I come up from like the non-traditional media space.
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
basically
I have
say
more ideas.
I have more ideas. I have ways to be creative about this. Um, and like these are my ideas. These are the cool things that I think that could work in the limited time. Because the thing is that YouTube videos and late night show host is not that different per se. The only difference is that in late night show hosting, it's you have another audience with you, right? You have a live audience, and you usually have someone to interview, and you also have to make sketches. Not to mention, it's also pretty long usually. Like,
Yep, yep.
right? It's a
Oh, but
long.
hers is around 30 minutes though. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah. No,
usually.
no, but still, 30 minutes for a YouTube video at least. It's pretty
Oh
long.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So basically, she could have a cool idea where she's like, okay, here are my ideas. These are all the things I want to do in a 30-minute window.
Yep.
That could be much cooler and much better than
What she's
like
doing now.
what she's doing now or what anyone is doing now for that matter.
No, I mean like okay. To be fair though, I think like some of her what is it called? Is it pickup lines? No, not her pick. Oh, some of her punch lines. Like when I was watching her, when I watched a bit of the show, I feel like it would have been suited more in the YouTube format because I feel like those kinds of jokes are the kinds where you're like those are the ones that I guess you kind of like can laugh at but only by yourself but not even in a heartily laugh. It's just like a heh, laugh, you know? I feel like those kinds of punchlines that she's making
Mhm.
would have been better if she had just made it or translated it into a YouTube video because I feel like in traditional TV I feel like you have to there's a different kind of method to delivery to delivering your lines to delivering your punchlines or even your comedy like I feel like there's a different style to it than YouTube, you know.
Yeah, and and to expand on that, like I also see it as like, hey, so like again, like the point that I made just now, where the fact that's like she's a YouTuber, she doesn't have the same formal slash
Yeah,
informal training that she had, like let's say as a writer or as a producer or so on and so forth, right? Or even as an actor, right? She doesn't have those experiences in those traditional media. So like the way I see it is like she could have had an opportunity where she could make something new of a late night show host, but instead,
yeah, she
not
focused on her
only yeah
quality. She
in
focused on
terms
her.
yeah like, and the thing is that not only does she not apply her YouTube experiences into the late night show host, but she also just basically went back to traditional media format.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean. But at the same time, though, for her to bring her YouTube format to traditional media format, it should not be the same as well. Because I feel like this is what is happening to her. Like, I feel like like you said, she's conforming to the traditional media format. but at the same time, she's using her old style video format as her old style YouTube video format as well, which doesn't mix because it now looks more rigid than ever and
Yeah,
more plain
more
because it's the
plain.
same shit that you can get on YouTube.
And it doesn't help with the fact that like her format of comedy, the one that she has basically relied on for
Jump cuts, right?
yeah, for those like jump cutty videos and stuff like that, it doesn't work in the format that she's trying to work out now. It's like in traditional IE in traditional media.
Yeah.
Late night
That's
show.
why that's what I'm saying. It's like even if you say to be creative by bringing her YouTube format to television, I'm pretty sure she still has to put in the effort of like tweaking it a different like tweaking it differently to make it stand out. You know, not just
Yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
simple, boring, like
No, no,
redundant.
that's what I meant when I said like she didn't work hard for this sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I meant.
I get what you mean. Cause I guess like she just took it as it was, and she brought in her old style of YouTube style, and that just made it like boring for the most part, and it also made it very normal like everyone else. And to add the fact that her comedy is not good, it just I can understand why it's 1.2. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Though I do have to admit, she slays all the looks that she has. I mean, she looks great. Like every time I see her on stage, it's like, wow, she's so pretty, and like the makeup team did really a good job on her. But yeah, in terms of her delivery, like in terms of her output, I mean, I know a lot of people say that she didn't deserve season two, and when I found out about the news, I also felt a bit like annoyed because I felt like the heck it's so bad, and she gets a second season, whereas like some shows that are like pretty good gets canceled. Like for example, there's one show like Two Broke Girls.
Oh, I knew that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that it went till like season 6 or season 9 or something like that, but they never picked it up again for the following season, so they just scrapped it off all of a sudden.
Mm,
Some shows have been like that a long time ago. Like even like I don't know if you know the show Victorious,
Victorious,
Nickelodeon.
like, is it the Victoria? Like, no, sorry,
Yeah,
Victoria.
in Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Yeah, yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
Victorious. And then like Zoe 101 also canceled, tapi itu ya for some other reason. But basically there were good shows like oh my god. Teen Titans season 6. Jesus Christ. Like I've been waiting. No, they've never got it out. And you know what I'm saying? Like Teen Titans is good. Like it was a good show, but no, it got dropped. I mean, I think that's what made me so pissed, like annoyed the first time I heard that she was getting a second season. To the point where like I ran to my sister's room and I was like, "Did you hear that Lily got a second season?" And she's like, "I know." And I'm like, "What the fuck like that?" But then I realized like maybe this is a season for her to learn and try to like prove what she's worth this time around, you know. But only perhaps if she listens and effectively uh allows herself to kind of like listen to the criticism that is being uh put for her, you know, constructive criticism at least.
Yeah, like, oh man, it's just that's my only concern now. It's like you did mention that it's gonna be like a second opportunity, right?
Yeah,
Even if it is a second opportunity, will she take it?
that's the thing. That's the thing. Because I feel like in season one, she had 30 episodes to change.
She had 30 episodes for an
But
opportunity.
then again, maybe those 30 episodes were like filmed way before, you know? So like it wasn't able to like revise or update itself from the all the criticism because it was already like filmed.
I don't think so, because do you remember the channel that I told you about, like Swell Entertainment?
Yes.
Yeah, because she talked about the fact that like they had the opportunity to change it halfway through the show.
Oh, I think I
Cause,
forgot that part.
and it's like a weekly thing, so they could have like aired in a couple, because I think they shoot multiple times a day or multiple times a week.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so they had the opportunity to basically change it halfway through, and she didn't, despite the criticism that she had since the pilot. That's why.
Or maybe she's basically just like a fast money maker machine for
Let me see.
NBC. Like it's just for them to get quick money, you know. It's not about whether it's qualitative or not. just like as much as we can, we will churn it all out. And then when she's no longer relevant or really nobody wants her to be on, then like, bye bye.
That could
Which
be.
kind of sucks. But like, it kind of sucks for her too, though. Like, I would feel bad if that happened, because I don't want that to happen to her too. Because I mean, like, she's human after all, and she can change. But it's just, it sucks to see that, and then the very same people who gave her the job, and also the very same people she's shitting on, who's allowing for her to shit on them. So it's like
Hmm.
kind of a weird, like, fucked up power play going on situation, I feel. Yeah,
Okay.
see, it does sound, it does feel like a power play situation, like you hating on your boss, but you're working for your boss, but
Yes.
but your boss knows that you hate him or her, and the boss was like, yeah, it's fine, cause at least you give me money, something like that.
Uh,
Yeah, I guess just to wrap up my topic, my question would just be, if you were in, if you were to get your own like reality show, or not reality show, not reality show, sorry, I keep going back to reality shows, my god. I mean, if you were to get your own chance of making a big break and actually getting into traditional television, yeah,
uh-huh.
what sort of outlet would you go for? Like, as in, would you go for like a late night television show or anchor news or whatever, etc., or Hollywood or whatever? What would you be your pick?
Uh, that's a good question.
Hmm.
I think somewhere along the lines of like semi advertisement, semi informational shows, if that makes any sense. Like Top Gear.
Uh, oh, okay. Like, so, can it be like Master Chef as well? Cause
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, to some degree also Master Chef. Yeah, 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 something like that.
that's
So
like
basically,
the kind of documentary style, kind of,
yeah,
is it?
basically like there's drama there, but at the same time something that basically allows you to learn a little bit about whatever topic it is that I'm doing in that show, like cars or cooking or science or whatever, you know.
Right, right. True, true, true. So there's like a new skill, right, to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that would suit me the best, personally.
Because it's also pretty chill, unless it's like competitive, I guess, like competition
Competitive. Yeah.
style show. I think for me, I would like. I mean, I love acting. I used to. I don't know if acting, but like I have interest in acting and performing. But I would like. I mean, people. I guess in general, you would say Hollywood, right? Like, I said, I would love to star in a movie or whatever. But I think
Uh,
for me, what I would find enjoyable was actually not a movie, but a TV series. I think for me, if I was given a chance, I would take part in it, because the fun thing about TV series is that it keeps going on, like it's a weekly thing. So, uh, as the character grows in the span of that storyline, you are also growing the character. Whereas in a movie, it's more of like short-lived because you only have a few, like maybe 3 months to film it all at once.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think other than that, like, that's all for my topic. Do you have anything you want to add from the Lilly
No,
Singh buckle?
no, because like right now all I have to do is just wait for like the second season or something. See what
Yeah.
actually happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see whether she's actually worth it. Like, but I really hope she does.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm looking forward to like more original. If she just pushes her agenda on it, then it's like, I
Hmm.
don't know. Which, speaking of pushing agendas, we'll move on to our next segment.
Oh,
Uh, we're gonna take a break, and then we're
okay.
gonna come back. Yep, yep.